Right, let's have a peep then, shall we? So, Abby P. Chainlink broke $5. Did it now? Right, I'm just. To be honest with you, I'm not enjoying the way that Binance has changed their their site here. So it means that all my previous TA and stuff, everything that I've charted out, is all messed up. Jeez, man, wow, all-time highs. So the alt season has begun, and it looks like the top caps are moving first, which is nice to know. That's if you're holding top cap coins. The only ones I'm really holding is Ethereum and XRP really, which is it's always one of those things I always wanted to hold Chainlink, and I do hold it from time to time, but I mean when things start to get too high, I just don't like it. I mean what we're looking at here is we're looking at a break outside the Bollinger Band on a daily. So let's have a look at the weekly, see how that goes. So I think it's still got further to go. We could make it all the way up to $5.50, I think, on this one. There's no reason why it couldn't. Let's have a look at some of these others. So ADA, again, get back to the old website. Harmony One is one of the ones I'm holding the most of at the moment, and that's only because you see how a lot of these small cap coins like Phantom have rallied massively, enormous rallies. They've got similar setups to One, and I know that those coins are a lot older than Harmony. And actually, when you look at them, you zoom out on them, and they're actually really, really bearish. So. And Pundi as well. Pundi has been just completely wrecked for such a long time. I forgot all about it because I was watching it last year on Binance. Just its sats going lower and lower and lower, and I think it got to maybe even it might have even got to like 1 or 2 sats or something like that. And then they Binance decoupled it. They said no, you can't trade this on a Bitcoin pairing. It makes no sense. In fact, it's going to be impossible. It's gone lower than a sat. So I mean, what's the point? And now look at it. It's rallied like hell. So I'm kind of looking at if Bitcoin can hold itself above 9,000 for the time being, play out this little range that we're playing in now. I'm kind of hoping that this will form a decent cross here. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm hoping for. At the moment, I mean, it's a relatively good chart. We're pretty much most of the time, apart from this dump that we had here, most of the time trending above the Bollinger Band, and most of the time above all major moving averages. I mean, we've been above the green 50 and the 200 now for about a week, and that's when I've started to really get interested in it. Because being above those guys generally means continuation. So yeah, looks like Link is probably going to be making its way up to that area, definitely. Yeah, and then it will come back down, definitely. But yeah, it's making its way up nicely, very nicely. What a missed opportunity. I mean, to be honest with you, we're outside the daily Bollinger Band here. Let's have a look at the exact. We could break this level here. We could get above $5.50, no problem. But I would expect over the coming days, and we would come back beneath this area here. So just short of $5.50, not a problem at all. So is there any other assets, coins you want me to have a look at? Cleverbox, appreciate the work you put up. Well, thanks. It's only a small channel. Like, I'm not one for making decent presentations or whatever, but I am thinking of doing some I suppose in a way tutorials. I've got to really structure it really and plan it because, like I say, presentation is not the greatest thing, and I don't know if I used to have Adobe Master Collection, so I used to be able to do decent edits and stuff like that, but I don't even have that anymore. So recently I just downloaded some really crappy stuff, and to be honest, it's like working with children's toys. I mean, it's just there's nothing I could really do with it, so to make anything look really that good. So it's always going to the production value is always going to look pretty bad with me, I'm afraid, and I'm no way ever going to pay for anything like Adobe. I mean, I don't know who would pay for that kind of stuff. I mean, it's unbelievable. But if you've got any decent editing software that you want to refer me to, then feel free to do that. Definitely I'd like to have a look at some, because most of the stuff that's available for free is well, it's rubbish, to be honest. It's absolutely rubbish. But I am thinking of doing some tutorials and some of the basics of TA. I don't know, I suppose most of you will be on my Telegram chat, but if you're not, there's a link. Join the link. You can chat with me and some decent people on there as well, who actually, like, I'd probably say they're more skilled traders than me. So yeah, I mean, I'm living in their shadow the vast majority of the time. Right, so let's have a look at some of these requests then. What do you want me to have a look at? So would I buy ADA now, or would I wait till it breaks 10 cent? Let's have a look. Yeah. This. Right, let's have a peep. I'm actually rendering something down now on one of those rubbish things I was talking about, so my computer's a little bit laggy. Very old computer this, but you know, it works. It's i7, but like first generation i7, overclocked obviously, but it's showing its age now. So let's have a look. It's looking pretty high here. It's looking very high. There's always the chance that it will pop up again and break, but let's have a look. I would be kind of nervous buying it around this level here, but again, you know, we are at the beginning of alt season, but or could be at the beginning of an alt season. But I'm personally with ADA, I think we'd be buying too high on this one. If we did make a break now, it would have to go higher and stay higher than these two candles here. So you can see that on the daily chart we closed two candles almost identically where they were here on 10 cent. So 10 cent is massive resistance. So we didn't do it that time, we didn't do it this time. If we don't do it this time, I think you're right in what you're saying. Wait till it breaks 10 cent and see where it goes. It doesn't look like it wants to break 10 cent. So it would take a decent push for it to go above 10 cent, and then where do I think we would go? Let's have a little look at look, I mean, look at this actually. Look, this area around here is just super resistance historically. It would be huge if we did break above 10 cent though. What would be next for ADA? 11 cent. What are these guys down here? 11 cent, 12 cent, 16 cent, 17 cent. So I think we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but the chart is definitely bullish, but I think it wants to come down a little bit. I don't think it's ready. Look, we're already reaching that target now. So yeah, this is going bonkers here. So we're reaching the target now of $5.50. Don't see a problem with that. And then I think it's going to come down from there, simply because it's the top of the weekly Bollinger Band there. Don't think it's got any chance of going too much higher, and if it did, it would be classed as, I'd say, parabolic and want to come back down again. But yeah, with ADA, I don't think it's feeling it. This area is super resistant, just historically, and also Bollinger Band and the RSI is maxed out. Well, it's not maxed out at all actually. It's not maxed out at all. I don't know why I said that. I mean, it could still want to go a bit further than that. There's no reason why it couldn't. It certainly could. But I just think, given the fact that it's 10 cent, I don't think it wants to come back, go higher than that. What else should we look at then? So, Ren. Ren, man. Let's have a look at Ren. Ren, I imagine, is going to be maxed out too. Bring me to the old website, man. I'm not feeling this new website. Sorry for the lagging computer here. Right, so Ren, we are on the daily and we are mega bullish. We are still bullish. These areas will want to come get taken out again, I'd say. We're talking about, again, top of the Bollinger Band on this one. If we are going to, yeah, we're coming back down again now. We'll see if we can make another push for it, but that's pretty much it for Link there. Probably be a decent short actually, but I don't really short these things on Binance. Give me that. Ren, let's have a look back in time. There's nothing there. It'll be on the BTC chart, won't it? That's a recent addition, isn't it? The tether pairing. We're ruling the bloody game on with Ren here. That was a strong resistance there. And look at that for an exact number, 2,000. That's definite psychological aspect of that number there being driven for that price action. So personally, I think we could come back up to retest that area or just below it. What I would say is that's a strong rejection there, and a support here on the 10 moving average. So we've got that one in our favour. If that breaks down, we do have the centre of the Bollinger Band and the 9 and the 21 actually. That's the 21. So I'm not really seeing any reason why this couldn't go up to try to get to 2,000, but I think because it hit 2,000, if you were to go in on this one, and again I'm not your financial advisor, but if you were to go on this, I'd front run the number just so you get in there before those sell orders, because that's definitely what happened here, and then everybody sort of got, I suppose, is likely to get wrecked on here. As far as the chart's concerned though, it still looks bullish, but kind of also quite toppy. With a rejection like that at that figure, I would be a little bit wary of buying in at that at this level, just because there's not much further to go really. Let's measure that out. What would that move be? It's a 10% move, but with a potential to drop from here to, well, with a potential 12. So it's kind of a 50-50. You don't want to get stuck in a trade like that. Personally, I wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, I mean, there's a guy on my Telegram chat who's been loving this, and you see I've chatted this out for him back in the old days when we were looking at this, and I was saying, you know, like, buy around this level, and this just shows how much of a cheapskate I am. I'm only willing to buy at these sort of absolute bottom levels. I got scared when I saw this, you see. I didn't like a chart that did that. I mean, that looked horrendous, and that scared me off. I don't want to be buying anything that looks like that. But you know, imagine even if I'd bought this area here, and to be honest, I didn't even look at this. I hadn't looked at it for a long time, but you can see how this area here had been probably would have been the better area to buy at, even if you did suffer a small loss. I mean, what was that? I mean, I know for a fact that this guy he's been ruling it. What's he got there? 271. That's just unbelievable. But for the moment, yeah, I think it's topping out, and I'll be too scared to buy it, and especially when something, I don't know what caused that or why it did that, but I didn't like the look of it. It's not for me, and I would hate to see that happen again. And I don't know if any of you actually watch my channel, generally speaking, but I am actually quite bearish on Bitcoin, even with, you know, the move that we've had today. I mean, I'm definitely still bearish on it unless we break above like 9,500 and close above there significantly, like, yeah, on a daily time frame. I'm still actually quite bearish on this. I think the thing that's keeping the price up is the stock market, and then the stocks are just going up and up every day, and they seem to be completely unrelated to the economy. So you could argue that because of that, there's clearly having a lot of money pumped into it, and the Fed know what they're doing, obviously, or they think they do, but it definitely seems to be reflecting on the stocks. So if the stocks continue to go up, it'll add relative strength to Bitcoin, but Bitcoin isn't as strong as stocks, so Bitcoin is living in the shadow of stocks at the moment. But so long as the stocks are high, Bitcoin's going to probably stay above 9,000 for or dance around that level for the time being, until stocks seem to want to maybe top out and start to downtrend a bit. Hopefully they're not going to crash, because that would significantly damage Bitcoin, because Bitcoin looks like, to me, like it wants to downtrend. So let's have a look at some of these others. What's Coty? Let's have a look at that then, shall we? Never heard of it. If it's not on Binance, I can't really do it for you. But it is. Has it got a... Yeah, it's got two. Okay, let's have a look at both of these then. Bring me back to the old website, please. Binance. I hate change. Right, let's have a look. So that's a very, very, very small chart. It's a very small chart. We're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go a little bit further. Yeah. Right. I would probably say, and look, this is a very small chart, so there's not a great deal I can do with a chart like this. But like I say, it doesn't look like it's bullish, really. We have been until recently trending above most moving averages, but we've been breaking down a little bit here. This is the BTC pair. So look, I imagine that this would be the same kind of deal here. Sorry for, like I say, this computer's lagging like hell. And this is an even smaller chart, so not really much given away there. So we'll look at it against BTC at the moment, and considering it's meant to be an alt season where most alts are supposed to be stronger than Bitcoin, this one doesn't look as strong as it should. I would say that this one is it's so hard to say. Potentially, we'd have to look at the next few days' price action to see if we can hold above areas like 289, 290 sats. If we can stay above 290 sats, there's room for it to move and continue. But anything below that, it could reject. It's been rejected. You can see from the green 50 exponential moving average, plus we're sort of towards the bottom of that itchy cloud. For what it's worth, it's not worth a great deal, but it's worth, you know, a little bit of something. It's not, like I say, with such a small chart, we've not got much price action to analyse, and that's what we need. We need a longer chart, a larger chart with a longer history to it to really work out what's going on with it. So what I would say is that is working against it. The fact that the chart is not very big, and technically the chart is overall, I mean, it's bearish. There's no point in drawing any trend line out on that. Well, not bearish, but it's not bullish, really, is it? But again, like I say, it's a very small chart. I really can't say. I don't like the way that that we've been rejected beneath the green 50, but it shows that Bitcoin's likely stronger than it, which would, to me, suggest that if Bitcoin does come down, this will come down further than it. But you know, I can't really give you much more on that one, I'm afraid. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at some of these others then for you. And this one's being hammered right now. Why is this getting hammered? I did have a theory, a kind of a strange, silly theory, and it's not the best thing to have, is a theory about anything, but because it's, I don't know where you are or if you get much news on it, but there's tension going on with China. I mean, the whole world got tension with China, obviously, but extreme tension with India, and I didn't know if that was likely to affect the price of this, even though technically they're I think they're owned by Binance now, but then I don't know how India would react to that. You know, it's a shame, really. Like I say, it's just a silly theory. But as far as this chart's concerned, we're on the 4 hourly. Let's get out of that. Daily, there's hardly any price action, is there? Really? I mean, there's nothing really to analyse on that. And there's not going to be any more on that either. So I think we're still consolidating from this super pump. Is there any kind of trend line that we can draw out here? Let's try it. What is going on? I just messed that up, haven't I? There's nothing going on there. That was a parabolic move. Anything going on here? Do candle bodies, not wicks? Not really. Let's try the old wickety. Not really either. Not really. No. But you know, if that were to be a trend line, which it's not, it it would say that maybe we could come down and test these moving averages like the 50 here. We're in a resistance cloud on a daily, but with a chart so small, again, it's difficult to say. I would probably say that this one's probably worth staying away from for the moment as well. I don't quite like the look of it personally. I don't think it's it could go higher. I'm not entirely sure about it, but what else have we got? So Alex Kim, and your updated opinion on the XRP at this point. That's a good call. Let's have a look at XRP, shall we? So I do trade this one. I went long on it yesterday because I saw how strong it was on that bounce, so I bought it back. What I've been doing recently with Bitcoin and XRP and Ethereum is shorting the highs, but yesterday was the first time I bought the dip and went long on the dip, should I say. So you can see, moving averages definitely count for something. The Green 50 exponential is the ultimate really for all cryptocurrencies. Green 50, the white 200, that is the ultimate for all crypto. But this chart looks very much unlike. It looks completely different to all the other charts, which is just terrible looking chart. It's a terrible chart. But what I did say, and what I've had for a long time now, is that we've had this descending trend that we've been stuck beneath for over 2 years, like the one that Bitcoin is still underneath. So it's the reverse, it's the inverse of Bitcoin, which is still underneath its 2-year trend. XRP broke out of it, even though it's a bearish chart. Okay, so we're still out of it. We're still outside of it. And if we were to come down to test it, it just gets lower and lower and lower and lower. Like I say, it's very rough. But if we were to come down to it today, that could bring us all the way down to about 13 cents. I don't know if like I say, I'm bearish on Bitcoin in general. But for the rest of this move that's played out with XRP, I think this is it for now. Breaking above this guy here and staying above here could cause a decent rally all the way up to this guy here. So we could make it up to 20 cent if we broke above the Green 50 exponential and stayed above there. Maybe even a little higher. But these guys are still descending. Even the Green 50 is still descending. Everything's descending. All these moving averages are still coming down quite significantly. So I think this is it for now. If Bitcoin breaks down, then XRP will break down too. It'll be interesting to see if it breaks down harder or not. But it's getting to a point now with XRP that the resistances are really strong, but breaking down beneath these areas, especially around about 17 cent, runs the risk of having a calamity event that could bring us down to this descending trend line. I know that sounds completely out of the realms of possibilities, but it's not. I think that Bitcoin has a good chance, a strong chance actually, of breaking down to the 7,000, so about 7,700. So if that were to happen, this trend line could be tested. But for the moment, the move is played out. If we break down from here or come down from here, then we'll be back down to this significant level that we've had here. Look at these. It's so strong, really, really strong. And the reason I bought it yesterday is because we had this week here, we had that week there, we had that week there. Each time we broke down, we actually wicked higher, so we had higher lows each time. So I was quite bullish on it yesterday, so I bought it up and I sold it. I sold it way before we got there. So as far as long term is concerned, I'm not really thinking that it's going to do this move. But if it did, it would have to break above this, and so the price action would have to be above 19 cents. Any daily close, or maybe even just a 4-hourly close actually, above 19 cent could cause continuation to rally up to around about 20 cents or higher. That's how I see it. But personally, XRP makes big moves up and down, and usually ends up being back down again. So at the moment we've played that move out. What else should we look at? So Harmony One, let's get it up then, shall we? So the deal I've got with Harmony One, that trend line is not needed because it doesn't exist. It didn't work. So basically, it's kind of, as far as all the other coins are concerned, it's slightly underperformed in a way, but still almost 5x in a way from where it bottomed out here. A lot of coins have 5x or more from this area here. But the thing that interests me is this incoming golden cross, which is it's never had, because again it's one of those charts which, hey hope, what happened there? Where's all my stuff gone? What was all that about? What's going on? That is weird. That's weird. Just refresh that. What about you? Have you done the same? What is going on? Right, okay, we're back. That was weird. Right, so, as I was saying, yeah, we have what would appear to be an incoming golden cross take place, so long as we're above, well, this is moving up, it's all moving up, so as long as we're above around about 450 or more, which looks as though we want to do that. Now, we see we broke down here and we closed above the green 50 exponential, which is obviously my favourite, my all-time favourite, but we could quite easily come down to test these levels again. So 440, if it did it today, 442, 422, could quite easily happen. But if we did make this cross, it'd be the first time the cross ever happened, because it's such a small chart really. I think we could be looking at areas of maybe a cent. I think the top area would be about a cent, so it would be like, yeah, that would be a massive increase in price. Probably looking to take profit around about, if it did start to go parabolic, probably start taking profit around these levels here, about 750. But again, you know, personally, I've got in a little early on this one, just on the anticipation that this cross will be created. That's all I've really got for it. When you look at these areas here, down here, the MACD looks a little weak, to be honest, looks a little weak, and it's not doing anything today in compared to these other top cap coins. They're the ones that are making the moves. And if we look at the RSI, it's still got room to move. The money flow index is now here, now there. So yeah, personally, I think this one could do a decent move. It's not so much a gamble. The chart's good. It's not bearish, is it? It's clearly good. But we're waiting for some more confirmation. Now we go to the 12-hourly chart. We already had that cross back here, so that was good. And we came back down to test and dumping into these areas here, which was the 200 exponential, which we still stayed above even on a 12-hourly. And obviously the 12-hourly got the golden cross, so all the lower time frames will have got the golden cross too. But again, slightly underperforming recently, so if that move doesn't happen, or if it starts to dump a little bit further, maybe around about 50 sats, I would probably get a little scared and maybe get out of there. But for the moment, you know, we're still waiting on that move, and the move could be pretty aggressive. That's how I feel about that one. MDT, let's have a look at that then, shall we? There's another one of the charts that doesn't really have anything to it. There's really nothing on it. That's a 12-hourly. It's a 4-hourly. Again, there's nothing to it. I can't really say anything. I don't know what it is, what I'm looking at. It's going to be hard to say anything about it. Let's go to a 1-hourly. Let's go crazy, shall we? So the 1-hourly, I suppose, I'm not going to say don't suppose anything. It's above major moving averages. The MACD looks like it wants to cross to the down. Looks like some kind of wedge formation being formed in here, ever so slightly and messily. Not the greatest formation, I'm afraid. Can't really get an easy support trend on that one, but there definitely seems to be a resistance trend on there, of some description. So because we're on an hourly chart, what we would be looking for is over the next day, we'd really want to see price action at the level that we are at right now. So I'd want to see this coin at areas of 922 or above, and that would be, well, what day are we today? So this would be tomorrow. If we can stay above there for the majority of tomorrow, then there's a chance that we'll break out. If we're lower than that price action, if we can't make it above 922 by this time tomorrow, I'd probably say we're probably going to keep going down. And there's always a chance for breakout, but what I'd say is, the chance very small. We do have positive crosses. We are above most moving averages, but it doesn't look like to me it wants to break out until we break out of this formation. Like I say, it's an hourly chart, so you get yourself an hourly chart up. You can create this easy enough, and then just keep your eye on it. Breaking above it should rally above it but if we keep getting rejected from it, just keep your eyes on it. And if we're getting rejected to the point where we're beneath these moving averages, and we start to sink our way beneath the 10, the 21, the 50, the 200, then I'd probably say it looks like it probably wants to dump at that point if it hadn't already dumped at that level. VET, should we have a look at VET then, shall we? This is another one that I wish I'd just held for longer. I bought it. I bought it way long ago, well, not that long ago, a couple of months ago, before it went absolutely bonkers. I got like 25% out of it, and I thought that'll do for me. I had no idea it was going to go this high, but that's just me. That's just a lot. That's the way I trade. You can't complain with 25% profit. It looks toppy to me, but again, I'd say this one is topped for now. That's an hourly chart. Let's have a look at the daily. Yeah, look at that. These are big rejections. Look, we're literally levitating in thin air. We opened and closed this above the Bollinger Band. This is completely ridiculous. So buying in anywhere around here, you'd have to have balls of steel and pockets so deep that it wouldn't matter if you were to lose out. I'm not saying it's going to go bearish. I'm just saying that with a rejection like that and a candle like this, it's going to want to be accommodated back into this area down here. Now this is expanding obviously on a daily basis, but these are strong rejections. Continuation from here would be unprecedented. It would just be, it's not impossible, clearly it's possible, but it's unlikely, so I would leave that one alone. And again, with a chart that looks like this, it's almost impossible to work out where we'd even go from here. Yeah, I mean, it is almost impossible to say where we go from here. These rejections kind of coincide with these ones over here, so there is a chance that we could push all the way up to around about 1.8 cent, and the Holy Grail being around 2 cent. And there is always that chance, definitely. But for the moment, I would definitely leave it alone with projections like that, and especially this levitating candlestick, the defying gravity of the Bollinger Band doesn't want to be part of what the hell? Doesn't want to be part of the Bollinger Band society. It's just too weird to look at that. Let's have a look at Zilla then, shall we? I am just not clicking right today. Back to the super cool new website, no thanks. So I hope everybody's good on lockdown. It's actually been relatively kind to me. I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it, but I'm not suffering. I'm lucky to be working still, and me and my family are all very healthy still, so actually I'm living in what would appear to be quite a responsible area until the other day, actually, because pubs have opened recently. Where I live, it's a massive drinking town, so it did look a little irresponsible the other day, but I suppose that's That's England for you anyway. And you can't keep people out of the pubs, even if it kills them. So yeah, I think the last time I looked at this, it was on the Tether chart, and it was I was saying we were looking to make supports around. It was between I think 165 and 17, and we definitely did get our bounce from there. And again, the Green 50 played the major role there. It looks like we were getting brought back inside the centre of the old Bollinger Band there, but we could continue with that. Let's have a look at some of these. So that looks okay. That looks like it's on the verge of creating a nice bullish cross into and above the 0 point. So there could be continuation on this. RSI definitely has room to move. This could make another run. Yeah, I give it a few days still. The Bollinger Bands are pinching quite tight now, so yeah, this one could make another run actually. I couldn't tell you exactly where the targets would be, but for safety, I would probably say any break above the Bollinger Band would be worth selling, even though there's a chance it will continue. But any break above there is definitely worth selling. It's consolidating clearly from its big move here. So, and again, we've got a lot of these crosses. They're not death crosses by any means, but smaller time frames crossing over larger time frames is never a good sign. And technically, this is a Ichimoku Cloud conversion baseline cross, but with a chart that it's got a reasonable price history. Actually, look at the state of that. You could make the argument that that's a cup in handle. So but I'm not a big pattern trader. But if you were, you could say that. You could say that would be the ultimate, meaning that actually, if you go to have a look at your Investopedia, this move would be dwarfed with the move to come. But I'm not saying that is what it is. But it could be. So yeah. I would wait and see if we come down again to test around about 17, or maybe a little higher at this level, maybe around 18, just above this the 10 simple moving average, because we were supported on that there on this last pullback as of yesterday. So the 10 simple moving average would be a support that I would be willing to gamble on, and then see where we go from there. So again, it's a moving average, so it moves every day, and it's a very short time frame one, so it's going to move up quite steeply with the price action, so it'll be higher than it will be tomorrow. So if we were to dump down and get supported on there a second time, so if that's today, it'll be 1782, but 18 would be okay, and you'd see where it goes from there. If the cup and handle plays, you'd easily be able to retire from that. If it doesn't play out, then and I'm not telling you it would play out. I'm just saying if it just ended up being another pump as a result of a consolidation, I'd play it safe, and I'd be taking profit around about maybe 21.5, 21 maybe. Right, what else shall we have a look at then? Quite a lot of requests here, maybe more than I can get through, I'm afraid. Let's have a look. Comp then, shall we? Let's have a look at comp. Ooh, doesn't look good, does it? Maybe it moved recently or something. Oh, why is it so hurt? What's wrong with it? Why is it being beaten up so badly? It must have moved recently or something. Let's hope so. Oh, right. So, what am I looking at? I can't really tell you anything on this one, I'm afraid. I don't know what to say. I can't tell you anything on this. I cannot say anything. I would probably say it's going to continue down, if anything. But again, I can't. There's nothing to go by. There's absolutely nothing to go by. I can't say anything. Sorry, I've got no opinion. It would be worthless me even trying to say anything about that. Right, let's have a look at FET then, shall we? But notice this one's been doing quite well in general, actually. Out of those Binance ICOs, it's actually been moving quite regularly recently. So let's have a look. On the Bitcoin pair's looking very good. Yeah, we're already on the 4 hour. Let's get out of that. Okay, right. Okay, brilliant. So this little one looks like it's doing the same kind of move that Harmony 1 is trying to do. Maybe a little bit behind it, but a bit more aggressive. It's not as good as I thought it was going to look. Actually, it seems that every time I bring up the app, I see it's always up. But actually, looking at it right now, it doesn't look that great. But it's on the verge of trying to do something. So I would probably say that this one. Let's go to a smaller time frame. Let's go to a 12 hourly, because it could be. Okay, so we had our cross here. We came back down to test the exponential. So in that respect, it does actually look okay. And maybe I was wrong on this one. Maybe this one does have further to go. Yeah, I think this one might actually continue from where we are right now. And if we were to come back down, we'd be testing levels like this, 307 sats, maybe 291 sats. Don't think it would be relevant for me to look at it on any other time frame, but I'll try. So this one, yeah, we're above all major moving averages on the 12 hourly. So again, we're topping out on the Bollinger Band here, so probably wants to come back down again, maybe to test these levels. But again, these moving averages are moving up with it, so with every day that goes by, the supports will be higher. And if we break down here, it's going to be the 200, I'd say, as we were tested back here. So those magical moving averages, always keep your eye on them. But let's have a look at the 12 hourly. Yeah, everything's primed to continue with this. But I'd wait to see if it had a little pullback first. But educated guess would tell me that with a setup like this, that it will continue to move up anyway, provided that Bitcoin behaves itself. So I don't think it's the worst. It's a gamble, obviously, buying it at the top of the Bollinger Band on a daily chart. Obviously, it is. And even if there was a move above there, unless it did one of those silly, crazy IO moves, where it just goes bonkers and doesn't care, like a V chain, seems to hold above the Bollinger Band and not care about what's going on. Which is very rare. It's extremely rare. I don't think with a chart that looks like this, which is definitely not that strong. If you see where we've crashed down from, we weren't moving for a long time, and we weren't moving at the same rate as other coins were. So yeah, I'd say it looks okay. It looks okay for continuation. But if I wanted a decent entry point, I definitely want to see it pull back and at least come down to test the green 50 exponential there. Matic then shows. Let's have a look at Matic. I always have Matic in the back of my mind. 210 sats. So it's been stuck around this level for a while. There's you'll see I've charted out this for a while now. We've been stuck within this area here, and this goes back in time. We've been here before. We've been here before. So basically, all the way back after our first parabolic move, when we came back down, for resistances were between this level here, this 18.5 and 2 cents. And we get stuck within this level here, and we get stuck again in this level here, and again we've been stuck in this level here. Now we bounced now. This whole situation here was Binance led, okay, and this is my problem with looking at Matic, is that it's become a trading device rather than anything significant. If Binance had left it alone and they hadn't done it for margin trading, and it's just a weird chart to trade with, but there is some things to trade. It's probably more useful than others, but what I'd say is we had this upwards trending support here, and we've broken beneath it, so now we're stuck within the do or die range, which is 18.5 and 2 cent, breaking above 2 cent, and we've got this upwards trending level, which was previously support, which should now be resistance, and breaking above there. Anything above 2 cent has got hope to it, okay, and you can see that just above here we've got this itchy cloud, which should be resistance. So look here. So we've got bearish. Well, not bearish. There's definitely bullish divergence on it now, but it's in a bearish situation with the MACD there. Let's have a look at some of the lower time frames. So yeah, I mean that's to be expected, but moving averages are facing down there on the 12 hourly, and on the 4 hourly I imagine them to be looking pretty bad. So we've got a death cross back here. So yeah, the chart on its own again is within this range, and that's all I can say for it right now. Breaking above 2 cent has every opportunity to make its way up to, you know, at least the top of this range, which is very small at the moment, but if we were to do it today, you know, well, I say 2.5, it's not even 2.5, but yeah, I mean any break above 2 cent is worth maybe trying it, see where we go from there. Any break down beneath this level here, I know we've broken down a few times beneath here, but depending on the state of the rest of the market, the Bollinger Bands are getting very tight here as well. It's a do or die, so I'd say, you know, it's worth maybe buying it at this range with a tight stop loss. If we come down beneath you know, 18.5, maybe buy it and sell it you know, toward the top. It's just a bouncing range, it's a trading range, and when it breaks up or breaks down, that's when the big move will happen. That's all I've really got for you with Matic. I do love Matic though, you know I do. You know I love Matic. Alright, so ADA just broke 10 cents then, has it? So let's have a look at it now. Because this could be the move that makes it. And this is all good, you know, because we're looking at some of these top cap coins really pumping now. So we got Link really pumping. We got even XRP moving. Ethereum will have been moving. They're all moving with Bitcoin. We can see, I've got it here. We can see that the Bitcoin dominance is constantly is still falling dramatically. We've got a death cross even on it on a daily chart. So this is good for the state of altcoins in general. This might be the last pump before the dump. We're looking at back on Matic. I don't want to go back on Matic, do we? So right, yeah. So we've made that break now. So this could be this could take us up to around 11 or 12, and maybe if we continue with it, we could make our way to. Let's go to the weekly, shall we? It make more sense. If we're going back in time, that's all we've got to go by, isn't it? So let's have a look. It make more sense. So that is our last year's high of 10,755. I think we'll probably get rejected from there, just because that's the only thing to go by at the moment from last year. So that's the only thing we've got to go by from last year. I've got nothing else really for you. Imagine buying it down here, Jesus man. Some of these coins are really rallying, and ADA was like a dead project, and now it's really going for it. So, but that's what I would say. I'd say, yeah, this would be about 10.7 cent would be where I'd expecting a rejection from at this point. And if we had continuation from there, which I would be surprised at, but if we did have continuation from there, maybe making our way up to 17 cents. But that is crazy to think that. I mean, I don't expect that. I have to, as much as we like to, chuck money, go FOMO, I do have to try and respect as much as possible the charts, and the charts they do tell us when something is too much. I mean, look at the RSI on the weekly; it's very high. When was the last time we got that high? Has it? It's never even been that high on this chart, so I would leave that alone. To be honest with you, I would be very surprised if we at this point now break above this wick, which would be specifically 10.752. If we broke above there, and I think if we got to there, I think there'd be a massive rejection. So probably a better shorting opportunity at this point now than there would be a longing opportunity. Just look at the state of the RSI; it's way high. It can obviously go higher. If that money flow index touches above this read here, then it is a definite super short sell for me, and I might be tempted to short it. Not on Binance, I do short for actual money on CFD trades, but But yeah, no, I think that's a bit much for me there. Bit rich for me. I think I'm just gonna have to leave it there because it's getting a little late. I know it's not late at all, but I'm a family man. I've got 2 very little kids, which means that late to me is 10:15 at night, because I'm up and out of bed at 6 in the morning, sorting everything out. But yeah, I hope you all stay safe in the old lockdown if you're still locked down, and I hope you be responsible if you're going out to the pubs, and I hope you're even more responsible when it comes to trading cryptocurrencies, because there can be some things more deadly than the coronavirus. Anyway, thanks for watching, and you all take it easy.